Hi, I'm Cheryl Townsley, and today what I want to do is talk to you about what is a sparker, where can you find it, and how do you use them in a variety of ways. You know, if you or someone you know struggles with car sickness, inability to make decisions, brain fog, tightness in the neck or shoulders, poor digestion, a host of things that we take as normal that we can do nothing about, either for us, children, grandchildren, then today's session on sparking is just for you. Now, in the comments on the Cheryl Townsley page, it's my public page, I'm going to share with you where you can find sparkers. I will also share with you where you can go back and find the sparking for breathing, the vagus nerve, the ears, and the eyes. So you can use this as a great reference tool. So what exactly are sparkers and why would you use it? Well, if you've ever used a hairdryer, have you ever found that all of a sudden it's not working? Well, it's not that the hairdryer is bad. Typically, you just need to hit the reset button. And that's to help the power of the electricity get to the hairdryer so it can do its job. Well, our nervous system is one big electrical system. And sometimes different parts of our electrical system has had too much load, too much stress, and we kind of blow fuses. So when we're using a sparker, we're simply resetting aspects of the nervous system. Now, there's two different sparkers that I recommend to people. This one, and again, these will be in the notes in the comments on the Cheryl Townsley page. This one is very inexpensive. You can get it on Amazon for about $15. The challenge is, over time, it will lose its spark and it'll break. But for $15, it's a great way to get started. But that's not the one I'm going to use today. This one is a professional one. It's a much stronger spark, and this one you can get direct from the company. And you will call them because for whatever reason they don't have it on their website. All of that's going to be in the comments. So these are sparkers, and I've explained how to use them. And now what I'm going to do is share with you sparking I do with clients when they come in to see me in person. Can't do this one long distance because I need your body. But I have found this information by going through certification in brain integration, learning about the nervous system and digestion. And that's really where these modalities have come from. So today we're going to bring in a very special guest, somebody that I spark on a regular basis. And as I bring Forrest in, a couple of things I want to mention. If you have trouble with breathing, like shallow breathing, you can't get a deep breath down here, the breathing is going to be really good. If you deal with tightness in the neck, tightness in the shoulder, and just nervous system shutdown, the vagus system will be helpful. If you deal with, now what was that decision I was going to make? Just an indecision process in general. If you have trouble taking tests, if you have trouble with doing math in your head mentally, you can only do it on your phone. If you deal with anger, ADD, resetting the ears can be helpful. And I'll give you two little tips when we do that. When we go to reset the eyes, think about, do you have eye fatigue? Trouble following the lines, and after you get down halfway on a page, you find that you're not tracking nearly as well. Do you have depth perception in trying to catch a ball or get car sickness? Those would be indicators that the eyes could be reset and be helpful. You can do these every day. You can do them on children. There's really no negative side effect. And one of the things you can notice is your, especially eyes on video. When I watch Forrest on video and I see that the eyes aren't exactly tracking, I know it's time to respark his eyes. So we're going to bring in Forrest, and I'm going to walk you through all 4 ways to spark. I'll go as slowly as possible so that it makes sense to you, and you can come back and use it anytime. This is my best model because I do him on a regular basis. So we're going to primarily keep the camera on the where we're sparking.
What sparking system are we doing now?
So first we're going to do the breathing point. And if you come down the sternum, the breastbone, right to where it ends, this is the point that if you were to muscle test, you could muscle test. And if it tested weak, that means that the breathing can't be as full as you would like for it to be. You don't have to do the muscle testing. You can just do the sparking. So it's always better to have someone else do it to the person. You can do it on yourself. It's just not as effective. So this is the technique for the breathing. Super simple. touch at the base of the sternum.
And you leave this touched, right?
You're going to keep it right there. And then you're going to take the sparker and spark 1, 2, 3, 4. You're following the rib cage on his or her left side, which would be your right side. So we just did spark, 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 about an inch, inch and a half apart. Now, to tie in the emotions, he can take his hand, put it across his forehead, and we simply go back and spark, 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 spark. Now, if you were muscle testing, you could go back, and that's a much stronger test. Again, you don't have to do the muscle testing.
Now, why did we tie in the emotions?
Tied in the emotions because sometimes we can be doing our breathing and then all of a sudden stress hits. A person, an event, looking down over a big bridge, something like that, and all of a sudden our breathing changes. So this is physiological. This ties in the emotions.
So
now,
best to just do both of them to cover the bases.
It is. It's just easy to do that. Now, the next one is the vagus nerve. And at any point in time, you can Google reset vagus nerve, and it will take you to our YouTube site where we've had probably almost 40,000 people at least watch this video. Super easy. I'm going to do it again so you can watch it here, watch it on the YouTube channel. So this one, if you were to test it, which again you don't have to do, you simply touch right behind the ear, and then if you muscle tested and it's weak, it just means that the vagus nerve isn't as strong as it needs to be. The vagus nerve is the most important nerve in the body. It's also called the wandering nerve. It goes into the brain, comes down the neck, ends in digestion. So it too will impact breathing, digestion, the neck, the shoulders, mental clarity. So here is how you will reset the vagus nerve. You have to find the belly button, and all you're going to do with the sparker is spark to the other person's right in the belly button and to the left, about an inch and a half to 2 inches either direction. While touching behind the ear, behind the other ear, doesn't matter which ear you start with. And then you're going to put 3 fingers at the back crown of the head, 3 fingers right at the top of the head, 3 fingers at the hairline, 2 fingers at the eyebrows. And then you can go back if you're muscle testing, test strong. And in the notes what I will do is I'll put what each one of these positions is affecting when you're sparking. So that was the vagus nerve. Now let's go to number 3. This one is for the ears, that decision making, mental clarity, the ability to deal with ADD and confusion and being irritable. Now, if you're going to do the muscle testing, which is kind of useful, what you can do is have the client or the other person snap by one ear. And if it tests weak, that means the ears are off. You could snap. And so we want to be able to change that. And the way we're going to do it, you're going to do this on both ears. You're going to put your finger, with their permission, inside their ear, right there where that little tip is. And then you're going to spark around the rim, and then about an inch around the ear, come down the neck, and right onto the arm. And then we'll do the front. So let me show you. Go around the earlobe, around the ear, about every inch, across the shoulders, down the arm, and then right about where their shoulder blade is, you're going to do a spark, 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 spark towards the sternum. Okay, so that was the one side. Now we'll do the other side. We're going to again put the finger in the ear. We're going to spark around the rim, around the ear, down the arm, go back, find the collarbone, and spark, 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 spark. Now, that's correcting the ears, but here's what's really interesting. I was working with a young woman yesterday, and ears weren't working together, and one of her big issues was she couldn't make decisions. She's known as the most indecisive person amongst all of her friends. So one of the other things that I suggested she do is that she add the flower essence Larch. This is incredibly good for people who can't make decisions. It's very good for test anxiety. So if you have students going to school, if you're going to school, and you study, 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 and then can't remember what you studied, Larch is great. It won't help you remember what you didn't study, but it will help you to remember what you were studying. You can take the larch, put it under the tongue. You can put it in water while you're studying. And then when you go take the test, put some of this in your water. It'll just help keep those retrieval pathways open. You can find Bach flower remedies in any health food store, inexpensive, safe for pregnant women, it's safe for children, safe for adults. In addition, if someone has a weakness with their ears, another thing you can do is, it's called pulling the ears. And this is actually good to have teachers have children do, to plug in their ears so that they can pay attention. You're just pulling around the ears, those earlobes, in about 5 different places. Do it 3 times. And that helps to spark the ears when you're doing it manually yourself. Very, very simple thing to do that you can do every single day. Now, if you've ever watched the other video that I did on help, I'm having a meltdown, it's a whole group of movements that support the lymphatic system, the brain, digestion, all kinds of things that are super easy. I do those movements every single day because my body likes them. So that's another little resource for you. Now the eyes. I've saved that for the last because it's a little more complicated. It's not hard, it's just remembering all the spots. So you may need to watch it a couple of times, then take a piece of paper and draw it out and make a little map that works for you. So remember, for the eyes, you want to reset the eyes when they're working independent and not together. And you can really see that in pictures and in videos because the eyes don't seem to be tracking. Makes it fascinating when you're scrolling through Facebook to look at people's pictures. Pretty soon you can be just like me and spot, oh, their eyes need to be sparked. Because that'll help you when maybe you experience car sickness, maybe the eye fatigue as you go down a page, and sometimes with that whole depth perception, which also means that if the eyes or ears are off, you may have trouble with balance. And so if you're an athlete, if you're a musician, if you're a teacher, whatever your profession is, getting your eyes and ears to work together versus independently makes a huge difference. So let's check, and we're going to do a little test. Again, you don't have to do the test, but we're going to do a test which practitioners could do to see if Mr. Forrest, if his eyes are working together. So on this one, what you want to do, and I just use the other side of my sparker, and he's going to follow the sparker, the gold part, without moving his head. So we're going to go across, go slowly, you're not trying to confuse them, in sort of a downward Z. And then we'd go back and check, and in this case it's testing weak. So here's how we go about correcting the eyes. We're going to go to those collarbones and come down about 2 inches, and you're going to spark this side and then the other side. Go out about 2 inches, spark, and spark.
So you're always putting a finger.
You always have a finger on the exact parallel opposite side. You're going to spark one side and then you do the other side. Then we're going to come down the shoulders right about where that divot is on the deltoid. Spark. You can just stay, spark, and then come down, spark, and spark. Now, when you have the stronger sparker, you're going to feel that spark in your finger. And when you don't, what's interesting about that is it means that that nervous system in that area is a lot more congested. And so over time, you'll be able to feel that spark all the way through if you have a really good sparker. It hasn't gotten old. Now, once we've done this part, we're going to go around the eyes. So we're going to spark right above where the eyebrows are. And then we're going to go to the end of the eyebrow. And then we're going to go to the temple, and then we're going to go to the earlobe, and then we'll turn the person around, and now we're going to, this is the hairline, this is the spine, so you're going to start just on either side of the spine, and you're going to spark, 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 and now we're going to go up on both sides of the, what's called the corpus callosum. But we'll spark, go to the other side, come up, spark, spark, come up. And one more time. And then we're going to come back to where we went this way. Now we're going to come down. So you're going to spark and spark, come down, spark and spark, come down, spark and spark, come down, spark and, whoops, spark and then just about where the shoulder blades are. So that's our eye sparking. We're going to go back and reassess. So let's have people be able to watch your eyes, and then you're going to follow the gold. Keep your head still. Go back and test. Test strong. Now, if you're watching the other person, usually the first time when their eyes aren't working together, what'll happen is they sort of jerk as they go across. The second time it should be smoother, it should be easier, and they should feel that it's easier, but you can also see it. So let's just real quickly summarize another tip that you can do when the eyes are especially tired. Olive is a wonderful flower essence for eye fatigue. So if you notice that you're feeling some headaches, some eye fatigue, olive is great. Remember, you can't do too much. When you're dealing with indecision, test anxiety, little larch is really helpful. So to summarize, there's different sparkers that you can get. Amazon or direct from the company. The information will be in the notes. You can do these sparking processes every single day. It's better to have someone do them on you or for you to do them on another person. Kids actually kind of like it. Sometimes when you're doing the eyes, they'll sort of startle a little bit, but it's not hurting them. You will find that over time, this one will wear out. Now, sharp point, because a sharp point might hurt, so you don't want to do that. If you're going to do this with a large family or do it on a regular basis, at some point, go ahead and get the professional. It's much more effective. So we've talked about sparkers and where to get them, the fact that it helps to reset the electricity in your nervous system. We talked about how to do the breathing, how to do the vagus nerve, how to do the ears, and how to do the eyes. I look forward to hearing from you how you like it. If you have questions, just put it in the notes on the Cheryl Townsley page. And remember, if you want to support the eyes, ears, nervous system, brain, check out the little video, Help, I'm Having a Meltdown. Simple movements that can help your athletic performance, your movement performance, and your brain performance. I'm Cheryl Townsley helping you have a better day the easy way.